2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer.
Oh, the band is out on the field.
That's another knockdown.
You know, Jim.
He got up.
You believe in miracles? Yes.
The All Things Sport Podcast with your hosts, Damian Banks and Pierre Banks on Speaker Radio.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the All Things Sport Podcast, and I am your host, Damian Banks, broadcasting to you from beautiful Banks Boy Studios right here in Durham, North Carolina. It's ATS, as I affectionately call it, the All Things Sport Podcast, where I give you just that, all things sport. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the show. Another week is in the books. Hope you guys had a fantastic 7 days from the last time that you heard my voice. I'm back and I'm better than ever. Did you miss me? What did he say on that Martin episode? What did he say? Did you miss me? I hope that you did, because I missed you guys. Before we get started, you know what I have to do. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDaimeon. Go to our website, banksboy.com. You can download this podcast, download older podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel on the website, very interactive. The website is banksboy.com. You can also follow my brother and partner, Pierre Banks, Mr. M. My Humble himself. His Instagram and Twitter is N_my_humble, and we thank you kindly. I told you I'm back. The show is jam-packed. Let's go, man. You know what I got to do. Spring water. Yeah. I had to take a little break because I hadn't taken a sip of my spring water yet. This spring water is from Harris Teeter. It's from a protected spring from Roaring Gap, North Carolina, and or Blue Ridge, Georgia. So yeah, let me take a swig of my water. Oh yeah, that's crisp as always. Let's do it. All right, man. It's the All Things Sport Podcast. I got to give you my hot topics. The world of sports, it's never ending. It never stops, man. And this past week, it was Easter weekend. And, you know, that was food, family, church for some people, a lot of basketball. It's the NBA playoffs just started. I'll talk about that later in the podcast. But, you know, this past weekend, really good time being spent with the family. I was actually at the in-laws' house in Garner. My mother-in-law cooked barbecue chicken, potato salad, collard greens, mac and cheese, biscuits. It was going down in a major way. And if you know me, I love food. I love to eat. Gigi, you did your thing. The food was excellent. I thank you kindly. Again, Easter, we all love the Lord, man. And thank God that he created sports, because sports will carry us, man, in this crazy world with all this craziness going on. You got potential wars with North Korea. You got us bombing Syria, all this political stuff, all this stuff that's happening at home as well, man. That craziness that happened in Cleveland, man, with that guy killing that older gentleman on Facebook Live. Whole lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, man. So when you want to escape, what better way to escape than by watching sports, man? Sports is life. And right now, our hot topics, we got a couple hot topics that I want to talk about on the All Things Sport Podcast. The first one that I want to talk about is, if you didn't know, some of us meaning black people, we do like baseball, and the Major League Baseball season has started. It is underway. Me, myself, and I'm a huge Baltimore Orioles fan. Been an Orioles fan my whole life. Love Brady Anderson growing up. Love Cal Ripken Jr. Actually, one of my favorite Baltimore Orioles playing growing up was David Segui. I did like Mike Messina before he defected to the evil empire of the Yankees. So I've been a Baltimore Orioles fan my whole life. Early on in the season, check the standings. Who's leading the American League East? None other than the Baltimore Orioles. So yeah, man, Major League Baseball season just started. Durham Bulls action right here in the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina. The Bulls are off to a great start as well. They did just lose 3 games in a row, but prior to that, they were 7-1 on the season. So the Bulls are always good. Can't wait to get out to the ballpark to check out one of those games. Also baseball action this past weekend. University of North Carolina and Chapel Hill and NC State. Those 2 baseball teams, they had their weekend series. The Wolfpack, they won the last game of the series, lost the first 2. UNC has a real good baseball team. They're ranked number 4 in the country. Came into that series on a 10-game winning streak, man. So I love baseball. A lot of listeners out there love baseball too. And don't get it twisted, man. Black folk love baseball too. All right, what else we got going on in the world of sports for our hot topics? Little NHL action. It's the NHL playoffs. Yeah, the National Hockey League. Newsflash, black folk like hockey as well. Yeah, but I don't know what channel to find the NHL playoffs on. What channel are these games on? I have no earthly idea what channel the games are on. I probably would care more about the NHL playoffs if the Carolina Hurricanes, which is the team that's located in Raleigh, which is a stone's throw away from Durham. The Hurricanes, winners of the 05-06 Stanley Cup Championship. They beat Edmonton that year, 4-3. Real thrilling victory for the Hurricanes. But if the Canes were in the playoffs, which they are not for the, I think, like 9th or 10th consecutive year, I don't think they made the playoffs since they won the Stanley Cup. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think the Canes have made the playoffs since they won that Stanley Cup in 05-06. But I would be more interested in the NHL playoffs if the Hurricanes were playing. Now, I hear that the Washington Capitals and the Toronto Maple Leafs are having a really good series, but I wouldn't know because I don't know what channel those games are on. I need to do some research on that and check to see what channel the games are on. Start checking out more NHL playoff action, because the playoffs in any sport, whether it be hockey, football, basketball, baseball, anything, the playoffs is what you want to watch. If you're a casual fan of any sport, if you're a casual NHL fan, then if you watch the playoffs, you'll fall in love with the sport. If you're a casual baseball fan and you watch the Major League Baseball playoffs, the divisional series, the NLDS, or any of the championship series, you'll fall in love with baseball. So playoff action is what you want to watch. And, right now, the NHL playoffs is popping 10. Again, I don't know what channel they're being played on. Maybe, I think NBC. I'm not sure. But like I said, if the Hurricanes were in the playoffs, I would probably be more inclined to watch NHL hockey. But since they ain't, I ain't. So, do me a favor, hit me on Instagram and Twitter. Probably Twitter will be better. And keep me updated on the NHL playoffs. My Instagram and Twitter handle, again, at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDaimeon. And I thank you kindly, man. The show is getting off to a roaring start, a great start, man. We're here for another week. The show is jam-packed. Like I said, it's playoff action in the NBA as well. So the majority of this show, I'll be dedicating it to the NBA playoffs. We're going to touch on the Western Conference playoffs, and we're also going to talk about the Eastern Conference playoffs for the NBA. And we're going to end the show with a fan favorite segment that we like to call Bruh, for real. So don't go anywhere. The show's just getting started. Come right back. We're going to take this commercial break. It's the All Things Sport Podcast on Spreaker Radio.
What up, this is Pierre Banks, and when I'm back in Boone watching the Mountaineers, my first stop is always Mountaineer Mania. The good folks at Mountaineer Mania have the widest selection of app gear, so you can cheer on the Mountaineers in style. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, decals, cornhole sets. I mean, if you need it, they've got it. So head on down to Mountaineer Mania at 497 West King Street in Boone and tell them I sent you.
The All Things Sport Podcast
We go back like spinal cords and car seats.
with Damian Banks and Pierre Banks on Spreaker Radio.
What's happening? Welcome back to the show. It's the All Things Sport Podcast, and I'm Damian Banks. Again, do me a solid. Do your boy a favor. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDamion, or simply log on to the website banksboy.com. You can download everything on the website for $0. It's free. It's for the low. You don't have to pay anything. I'm not asking for any PIN numbers. I'm not asking you for your routing number on your checkbook. I'm not doing any of that, man. It's free. It's a gift from me to you. So download right now. It's free. Do it. Appreciate you. All right, man. Now we've been rocking and rolling so far on the show. Just finished with the hot topics. I told you before the commercial break, this show is pretty much dedicated to the NBA playoffs. The playoffs are here for the NBA. It just started and it's already crazy, man. It's already popping 10. So, we got the West Coast, we got the East Coast, we got the Western Conference, we got the Eastern Conference. So I figure since I'm on the East Coast, I'll start with the Western Conference, so as to not be biased. I'll start in the Western Conference. The number one seed out west is the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. That Golden State team is pretty much loaded. They are they're an offensive juggernaut, and defensively, they're really good. They're the number one seed. They're taking on the 8th seed, the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, right now, this series is 1-0 for Golden State. Golden State won game 1. But damn it, if game 1 wasn't very, 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 very entertaining. And it was very entertaining because Portland's backcourt of CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, they went hamburger. Dame Lillard had 34 big points. CJ McCollum 41 big points. But that was pretty much it for Portland. They stuck with the Warriors for most of the game. It was real close until the Warriors started playing that lockdown defense and held Dame Lillard to like 2 points in the fourth quarter. Golden State came away with the game 1 win. I don't know if Portland is going to be able to win any games in this series. They got 2 really good players in their backcourt in Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. But other than that, I don't think they have the firepower to stay with the Golden State Warriors. They don't have that firepower to stay with the Golden State. So, I'm going to watch the playoffs because it's the playoffs, man. It's some of the best athletes in the world getting it on a nightly basis. So, that number 1, number 8 matchup probably going to go the way of the Golden State Warriors. Now, one of the matchups that could be real interesting is the Utah Jazz and the LA Clippers. And that's the 4-5 matchup. Now, the Clippers, they always seem to be snake bitten when the playoffs come. They always have major injuries. Last year, they lost both CP3 and Blake Griffin to injuries in the playoffs. Now, this season, everyone is healthy going into the playoffs for the Clippers, and they're taking on the Utah Jazz. In game 1, the Utah Jazz center, Rudy Gobert, which is, he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, he injured his knee within the first 20 seconds of the game. So you would think that the LA Clippers would win that game easily. Like 45 says. Wrong. If you're the LA Clippers, how do you lose to the Utah Jazz and they don't have their starting center, double machine, Rudy Gobert? This is how you lose. You let old head Joe Johnson slow flow you for 21 points and the game winner as time expired. Yeah, Joe Johnson, who has been in the NBA since before, I had dreadlocks. That's a long time, man. Joe Johnson's been in the NBA forever, and he hit the game-winning runner as time expired. Right after, CP3 had hit a great bank shot to tie the game up, but it shouldn't even have come down to that. The Clippers have a superior roster, in my opinion, and they got 3 All-Stars in their starting lineup. CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, all have been All-Stars in the NBA, and, they should, on paper, they should beat the Utah Jazz, but I don't know, man. This series could go 7 games, or who knows? Maybe the Clippers will get it together and they'll reel off 4 straight victories. I don't know. It's going to be a pretty interesting series, if you ask me. You got that 3-6 matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the